Good morning, everyone. It's Sarah. Are you ready for Coffee and Crochet with Sarah? Well, good morning, everyone. The first thing I want to say is I found out some very interesting news. Now, you know, every Tuesday we do our live video chat over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page. We try to do it every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Well, I found out some interesting news this week. I was doing some searching and I discovered that you don't have to have a Facebook account in order to watch a live video on Facebook. And so I went into my Posh Pooch Designs page, made sure that it was open since it's a business page. And all you have to do is go to Google and put in Posh Pooch Designs, and it'll take you right there, 9:30 a.m., and you'll be able to watch the live video, even if you don't have a Facebook account. And I think that's really cool. Good morning, everybody. I see a lot of you already clinking in. I see Caitlin and Christine, Stacy, Karen, Tammy, Maureen, Dawn, Talana, Jennifer. Let me move this down. Mary, Dawn, Darla, Joy, Melissa, Jane. Well, I'm certainly glad you all are here. Last week I forgot to clink in till the end of the video, remember? So let's go ahead and clink in now. And I've got one of my favorite cups. I just want to sip coffee and crochet. I got the funniest email this week. I have to share this with you. I wrote it down, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, a new study links drinking coffee with a long life. Well, that's cool. I'm going to live forever. Another new study links crocheting with being mentally and physically healthy. That's a double cool because I'm going to live long and I'm going to be healthy. I thought that was pretty cool. So if you like coffee and crochet like me, we're going to live forever and we're going to be crocheting forever. I love it when people send me fun little things like that. All right, I see a few more of you clinked in. Let's see, Teresa and Ruby and Dawn and Aisha, Karen, Pam, Stacy, Alicia, Catherine. You know, a lot of people think it's kind of silly that I shout out your names like that. I've been called Romper Room. Unfortunately, I never really saw Romper Room until I went and looked it up. I didn't grow up with the TV, so I didn't know. I don't know a lot of the stuff from back when I was a kid. So anyway, I think it's super cool. I love shouting out your names, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, my memory really is shot in a lot of ways. Not bad, but I just mean I don't remember things a lot of times. And if I say your name out loud, it helps me remember you and your name and put a person with a name. And I love it because I love all of my Facebook friends. I wish I could do that on YouTube as well because I love all of my YouTube friends as well. All right, let's get right into our conversation. I'm going to click over because I want to show you what I've got written down here. Today we're going to talk about scarf lengths, and I just want to state that these measurements are approximates because it shows here that a 3 to 5-year-old should have a 36-inch scarf. Now, not all 3 to 5-year-olds are the same height, and so these are approximates. And if you want this chart, it's on my blog, and I always put a blog link in the notes underneath the video because I always make a blog with all the links in it so you can find that if you're looking for those. And I do that every week on our live video. You'll always find a link that goes to the blog that accompanies this video. All right, so we got the 5 to 7-year-olds, about a 44-inch, 8 to 10-year-olds, about a 50, preteens, that's your 12 to say 13, you know, about 57, and then once they become teenagers, they're small ladies, and you can see 64, 68, 69, and then the men, small, medium, large, 67, 70, and 75. And of course, these are just approximates. And something that someone told me one time is when you're making a scarf, the best way to make it to fit that person is to make it the same length that they are tall. For instance, I'm 5'3". I used to be 5'4.5". I'm not anymore. Shrink. But anyway, if I want the scarf to fit me properly, then I probably should make a scarf that's 5'3". Another thing that someone told me is that the length of your arms, if you take your arms and stretch them straight out, the length from your middle finger to your next middle finger is the same length as your height. Now, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a good thing to go by. If you want to make a scarf for someone, and just measure them, their finger to finger with their arm straight out, and make it that length, you know. But there's a lot of other things that can go into making a scarf for someone. There's also how the depth of it, which is how wide it is. And this is my skinny scarf. I call it the Mandela skinny scarf. It's made from Mandela yarn. It's sparkly. It's one of my favorites. I wear it all the time. And it's nice for fall and spring because it's lightweight, open, and lacy, and it's not too heavy. But everybody has preferences. Some people prefer a scarf that's a little more narrow, and some, prefer a scarf that's a lot wider. So that's another thing to take into consideration when you're making a scarf for someone. The other thing is weight. If you live down in Florida, you may not want a thick, bulky scarf like someone who lives up here in Colorado like I do, or even up farther north, might need that thick, bulky scarf. So keep that in mind. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I've gotten a lot of questions lately about, what's the best yarn to use for scarves? What's the best length? The best. My tongue gets ahead of my brain sometimes. Because they like to make scarves for Christmas presents. And I think scarves are wonderful Christmas presents and holiday presents, or Hanukkah, or any other holidays that you celebrate, or even birthdays in the wintertime. Scarves are amazing gifts. And you can take that and make it personal. And I'm getting a little warm, so I'm going to go ahead and take my scarf off. But something that I try to remember is where they live and what they're into. Okay, so if you're someone like, say, up here that goes to the Denver Broncos games all the time, it would be nice to have a warm scarf that's made in the Denver Bronco colors. So those are things that you can keep in mind as well. As far as the scarf lengths, like I said, you can go and get this chart right off my blog, and that blog link is down in the notes underneath this video. I always do that. And this is a great guide to go by, because then you'll know that it's within, it'll probably fit them, basically, is what I'm saying. But if you think about it, even this preteen thing, preteen boys and preteen girls are not always the same height. A lot of times girls are taller than the boys during the preteen times. And also, let me click back up here. Even thinking about children, I mean, if you go into a classroom of all 5-year-olds, look at all the height differences that there are. And so that's why you have to remember that those on that chart are just an approximate. And you need to know that child. Now, if you're going to be making scarves, say, for homeless rescues and things like that, where you want to be able to have an assortment of sizes, this is a great chart to go by. And one thing that I really, I haven't done it in the last couple of years, but one thing that I do like to do is gather up a lot of my yarns that say I'm not going to use. I have a bunch back here that I haven't used in a while. And so I'll go through them and I'll make some scarves. And I used to try to make them all in grays and blacks. And then I realized that there's a lot of children and ladies and families that are in these rescues that would like a maybe more personal color scarf. And so what I do is I make, I haven't done this last couple of years, and I need to do that again, is you make up hats and scarves. You just use basic patterns, and you can match them up or leave them apart, and you put a little tag on there that says, "I'm not lost, I'm left here for you. Take it if you need it." And it's just a great thing to do. As a matter of fact, I did it down in our park, and not very many of them were taken. And so I thought that's not the best place to take them. And so I want to take them, to areas where they're needed. You can take them right to the rescues and hand them out. But we also have a couple of food banks that I like to do this with as well. When people come get food, they can also pick a scarf or something, especially for the kids. And another thing that you can do, and this is kind of off topic, but if you like to give things for the homeless rescues, because this is the time of year, it's going to start getting cool again. And one of the main things they always need is socks. And so you can go to Walmart and Target and stuff. All the socks are on sale. And you can buy them in these big 12 packs. And you can put 2 pairs of socks together, stick them in that hat, wrap them in that scarf, and put that tag on there. And that would be one of the most things that they would really appreciate. When I was talking to, this has probably been 3 or 4 years ago, I was talking to one of the people that work with the food bank, because our church has a food bank, and I was asking them about what are some of the things that they need, and she told me socks. And so I went online and I was really doing some investigating, and it's really true. And I will tell you though, the crochet socks do not hold up as well, just an FYI, as going to your local Walmart or Target or any department store, because right now all the socks are on sale, because you can buy them in these big packs for back to school. The white, I think they're just called sports socks, and the ones that they're like white and they're straight, there's no heel in them, that way they're not sized. And I haven't seen them lately. I'm going to have to go and look. But also, especially if you're doing this for the gentlemen, they are the ones who really need the socks as well. Of course, they all need the socks. But anyway, that's just something I wanted to pass along. It's totally off subject. If you like to donate your hats and your scarves to that, it's a good idea to maybe take a couple of pairs of those white socks in there. And they're really inexpensive. If you're going to buy your son or your daughter a pair of sports socks, grab a pair or 2 out of the bag and donate them. Because, like I said, that is the thing that they need the most. Anyway, I know I got off topic, but it's just kind of something that is important. All right, if you missed our clink in, we did it early. And so I've got my cup today that says, I just want to drink coffee or sip coffee and crochet. This is one of my favorite cups. It's a nice size. I have one I got from Hobby Lobby, and it's really big, and I love it when I want a big cup of coffee. Excuse me, but sometimes I set that coffee on the counter and I let it get cold because it's just too big. So, anywho, let's talk about now what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. I've got 3 new videos and 3 patterns that we did this week. The first one that we did were the Chevron headbands. I was going to wear one today, but I didn't know if any of these matched my clothes. I guess I could have wore this blue one. But I've got all 3 of these here. I'm going to stick them on my arm so I can show them to you and talk about them. All right, so this is our Chevron headband. This one, you can see it's all different colors. And it's because we changed colors. The original pattern calls for color changes, but you don't have to do those color changes. This is the Red Heart Super Saver in stripes, works great. This is the Mandela in ombre, works great. And this is Karen Cotton Cakes, and I changed colors. I didn't stick with the color changes in the cake. I cut it so that they would be exactly where I wanted them. And so the pattern can be made in cotton blend, acrylic, or any yarn that you have that's a medium number 4. But it also can be made with thicker yarns. And you can make a nice, thick ear warmer using a chunky 5 or a chunky 6. Just make sure you go up on your hook size or your stitches will be way too tight and you won't be able to get that thick yarn through there. But it's a good versatile pattern. And this is another one of those things that you can use up your leftover yarns with and make a bunch of really cute headbands. Make one to go with every outfit. I always say, if I'm going to go on vacation, I'll take some of my leftover yarn, some of my, like balls of yarn or cakes of yarns that I rolled up, and I make a headband for every outfit while I'm on vacation. And then I just leave them there or wherever. Sometimes I'll leave them in the hotel room with a note that says, here, this is for you. I do that with wash rags too. I'll just take some extra cotton, just something to do on the plane. I'll make a wash rag, and then I'll tie it with some yarn and give it to like the steward attendant that brings you your coffee, or leave it in the airport, or leave it in the hotel room, because it's just something fun to do and people like things, that they find. So anyway, Make sure you put a note on it that says it's not lost, that's for you, okay? Or they'll end up in the lost and found. All right, the other thing that we made this week, and this is a repattern. And we went back in and we retested this pattern and updated the pattern online and the video. And this is our round bottom shopping bag because the bottom is rounded. And this is one that's really great for vegetables and fruits because it's got a good sturdy bottom on it. And it's just a really nice sturdy bag, even though it has those cross stitches for air, you know. And I made this out of a carrot cake. And you can make it, I think it's 1 and maybe a quarter. I think we went into the second ball just a little bit. But all of that's on the blog and on the video. So you can get all of that. And it's a really big bag. And this bag, you can repeat your repeats as long as you want to make a really nice big bag. And it's very stretchy. And it holds a lot of stuff. It also makes a good project bag if you want to just take something along with you. All right, and so the last thing that we did this yesterday. I'm going to push him up a little bit because he got flat sitting underneath that. All right, so this is my Hug the World pillow. It measures about 10 inches across by 10, you know, it's not very big, but it's a fun pillow to make if you want to teach your children and your grandchildren's, maybe your classroom or maybe you're a librarian, talk about it in your story time or something. It's a great way to teach children to love the world. And my goal in this is to teach people to love the oceans and the land and to help be responsible for taking care of our earth, but also to love the people and the animals that are on the earth. And it's a great way just to introduce, you know, taking care of things. Because one of the things that's on my heart as far as the earth is the oceans. And I think there's a lot that we can do. You know, and I know it doesn't all come from you know, one particular place or the other. But I think there's a lot that we can do and a lot that we can teach about the plastics and things like that we can do better at, I guess is what I'm saying. And be a little more responsible and love the earth and love the people in the earth. And so I thought it was a lot of fun. And I didn't do the United States with just, you know, I kind of wanted it to be so that we wouldn't be just looking at one continent or country. And so I just wanted to use just a little bit of the green in a couple of places so that we understand that we all have a responsibility to take care of our earth. And it's fun. You can throw it around the room, you know, because it's a pillow, it's a ball, you can play with it. And I think sometimes just getting that out there, you know, and letting kids know that it's their, you know, it's our responsibility, but that's their responsibility too. And we can all work together, you know, love the earth, love the people. That's kind of the goal. And I called it Hug the World because it's so soft and squishy. So anyway, those are our 3 new patterns. All 3 new patterns, or actually the bag is not a brand new pattern, it's a redo. But anyway, all the patterns have, you know, a written pattern, photo tutorial. But what I wanted to show you about the world is I'm going to click back down here and show you this. We did this in such a way, let me move those out of the way there, that we did a written pattern, we did a graph to give you an idea of how it's laid out, and then we did the video, and I also did a picture of every step as well, so it's a photo tutorial, because I wanted it to be super duper easy to make. I didn't want people struggling. I wanted it to be super duper easy. It's all stitched in double crochets, so it's super duper easy to make, and it's also fun. So anywho, I always say that, anywho. But that's what I've got for you today. I don't have a real long video. I just want to remind you lastly about last week's giveaway, and it's our August giveaway. And I should have brought her picture back up here, and I didn't. Let me look in here, see if I put in my notes. Nope. All right, so what we have is our giveaway is Kristen Omdahl is giving away her crochet book, her new crochet book. And if you want to know about it, I'm going to put the link down in the video, and I'll also, when I put it on YouTube, put the link up on top so you can just click on it. All you have to do is comment on last week's YouTube video or last week's Facebook video to be entered. And it's a great book. It's over 100 pages. It's got 18 different crochet patterns. And next Tuesday, I'm going to be giving out the name of the winner. And it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And I've already done a couple of patterns from it. And you saw the cow I had on last week. It was just gorgeous. And all of the patterns have a written pattern. It has a picture and also has a graph. So, and she writes her patterns beautifully. There's never any issues at all. You just zoom right through them. They're well, easily to understand. And and the book has lots of other things in it too, like how to read a pattern, how to read a graph, yarns, fibers, crochet hooks, stitches. Has tons of information in it. It's a great book. And she also has a knitting book, but we're just giving away the crochet one here. And so anyway, if you want to get involved in that giveaway, go to last week's video on YouTube and comment, or last week's video on Facebook and comment, and you're in the running. And I'll give the name of the winner next Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And the last thing I want to tell you is thank you, because I can't do this without you. I'll see you all next week now. Bye-bye.